Dialogue between Buddhism and Other Religions. Questions 31 to 40.
Question 31. How should we understand the creation story as an educational parable?
The creation story offers several meaningful lessons, as follows. God created the physical world before creating humans. This implies that a suitable living environment must exist before the emergence of a corresponding species. This concept is scientifically plausible and morally educational, emphasizing a sense of responsibility. When planning to relocate or introduce life to a place, one needs first to ensure that the environment is conducive and adequately equipped for survival. After creating the heavens and the earth, God did not immediately create humans, but waited for the right moment. This implies that without beings capable of thinking and loving, all of creation would be meaningless. All existence becomes significant only when sentient beings have consciousness and the capacity to love. Life itself holds value only when it includes mutual understanding and love. Initially, humans were God's creations, living under His care. However, they desired to become independent by eating the forbidden fruit and gaining knowledge of good and evil. From that moment on, humans had to face life's challenges and endure suffering, aging, sickness, and death. Humans must solve the moral dilemmas of right and wrong, good and evil in their lives to find their way back to God. Humans were made from dust and will ultimately return to dust. This realization should help people lessen greed, hatred, competition, conflict, and the infliction of suffering upon each other. From dust we came, and to dust we shall return. Therefore, the true value of life does not lie in fame or wealth, but in morality, love, and enlightenment, which can lead us back to God. The Bible does not explicitly mention what happened after Adam and Eve died. Having killed his brother Abel, indicating humans' inherent wickedness in their earliest days, Cain was left alone. So, whom did Cain marry to give rise to many descendants that populated the earth? This gap in the Bible has sparked confusion and debate. It seems the authors intentionally left this open for later generations to ponder. Perhaps other human-like races had already existed, with whom Cain encountered and married to produce descendants. This suggests that God's creation was not exclusive. From this perspective, it serves as a reminder. We should not pursue monopolies. Instead, we should open doors for others to create, innovate, and make breakthroughs.
Question 32. Are clergy those who serve as intermediaries between God and the believers, managing the flock of believers on God's behalf?
Yes, every religion requires dedicated clergy who are no longer preoccupied with family duties. This allows them to devote themselves entirely to spiritual cultivation and caring for the spiritual well-being of their followers. This clergy class is crucial. Without them, a religion could perish. Some religions do not have celibate clergy. Instead, they select religious leaders from the core believers. Some religions do not require celibacy for their clergy. Their clergy can get married and still be trained to guide the faithful professionally. From a human perspective, clergy are expected to be exemplary in their moral and spiritual practices according to the standards of their religion. From a divine perspective, clergy are representatives of the divine, connecting the believers to God. Naturally, these representatives must also possess outstanding spiritual qualities and cultivation, as their religion requires. We often hear about scandals involving the personal lives of some clergy members. After all, they are still human beings with natural, deep-seated instincts that are not easy to overcome, especially the instinct of sexual desire. In Buddhism, to transcend desire, one must attain deep states of meditation, which is highly challenging. Even those who take vows to uphold the precepts do not necessarily mean being free from the instinct of desire. In addition to desire, humans are also driven by many other instincts, such as selfishness, greed, anger, and jealousy. Without effective spiritual practices, clergy may still fall short of the ideal qualities expected of them.
Question 33. Can prayer alone enable clergy to achieve the necessary moral qualities?
Prayer can only invoke divine support to some extent, but cannot wholly help one overcome the negative instincts hidden within one's mind, as humans remain independent from the divine. Prayer is an initial catalyst for building moral qualities, but cultivating these qualities is long and challenging and requires diligence, self-discipline, and subtlety. For instance, if we recognize our arrogance and wish to eliminate it to become humble, the first step is to pray for divine guidance to rid ourselves of arrogance and gain the virtue of humility. However, after that, we must regularly reproach ourselves for our past arrogance, remind ourselves to be humble, practice speaking words of respect toward others, and adopt courteous attitudes toward everyone. It may take a year or more for the virtue of humility to begin to manifest within us a little. Similarly, many other moral qualities also require persistent cultivation through specific methods. For example, cultivating generosity and the willingness to help others demands significant effort and perseverance.
Question 34. Clergy are often revered and offered donations. Is it easy to lead them to a lavish lifestyle?
Temples are typically beautiful because they are places where people express their utmost reverence for the divine. They are also places where people gather to practice their faith and experience the spiritual atmosphere together. Out of respect for the divine and for the benefit of the community of believers, people strive to build grand and magnificent temples. Clergy, who reside in and manage these places of worship while guiding the spiritual lives of the faithful, naturally partake in the blessings bestowed upon the divine. Thereby, they might enjoy a comfortable lifestyle. This is understandable. However, the difference lies in the moral qualities of the clergy. If they possess solid moral qualities, they will maintain humility and simplicity in their hearts despite living amidst such comforts, rather than indulging in prideful enjoyment.
Question 35. Clergy, monastics, are typically viewed as being on a higher plane than ordinary humans, but is this always the case in reality?
Religions generally have training programs for their clergy or monastics to help them achieve qualities that are at least partially divine, making them worthy of the reverence and trust of their followers. However, due to differences in individual psychology and the varying methods of spiritual practice across religions, the moral qualities of the clergy or monastics can vary significantly. Even within the same religion, the qualities of clergy or monastics are not always uniform. Across different religions, the differences are even more pronounced. Nevertheless, regardless of religious affiliation, clergy or monastics should generally possess some universal qualities, such as detachment from money, possessions, and material comforts. They should prefer a simple and modest life, despite living in abundance. Extensive compassion and altruism. They should exhibit immense love and kindness toward all beings and be willing to help those in need within their capacity. Humility and modesty. Despite being revered by the faithful, they should remain humble, discreet, and respectful towards everyone, avoiding boasting and arrogance. Calmness, patience, and tolerance. They can remain calm and forgiving in the face of insults or mistreatment, let go of petty grudges, and readily forgive others. Fairness and impartiality. They treat everyone equally without favoring specific groups or individuals, though they may prioritize certain justifiable cases. Respect for other religions. While deeply devoted to their own religion, they should remain open-minded and respectful towards other religions, contributing to a peaceful and united world. Chastity and integrity. If the religion mandates celibacy, they should abstain from sexual desire. If the religion allows for marriage, they must maintain fidelity and avoid inappropriate relationships. A rich spiritual life. They should lead a profound, pure, and enlightened spiritual life, as these are critical criteria for clergy or monastics who transcend worldly ordinariness. To achieve these qualities, each religion has to implement a rigorous and disciplined training process for its clergy and monastics.
Question 36. What does it mean to have a rich, profound, and enlightened spiritual life?
The specifics of spiritual life may vary across different religions, but they share the common characteristic of cultivating inner tranquility, drawing closer to the qualities of the divine being revered. The divine qualities that each clergy member should strive to cultivate include purity of mind, a mind free from distracting ideas and wandering thoughts, allowing complete focus during rituals, prayers, and sermons. In Buddhism, this is known as meditative concentration. Detachment from worldly influences, remaining unaffected by the temptations of the material world and undistressed by life's adversities, living in the world but not being attached to it. Reverence, holding deep adoration for the divine beings of one's faith, including historical saints and figures significant to humanity and the religion itself. Clarity and wisdom, the ability to perceive the underlying truths in all situations, discerning right from wrong, virtue from sin, and good from evil. This clarity enables spiritual leaders to guide their followers accurately in all aspects of life. Spiritual sensitivity, the ability to intuitively understand profound truths without needing extensive external information or references, demonstrating a strong sense of intuition. Every religion should have proper meditation methods or practices to cultivate a pure mind, as this purity is essential for connecting with the divine.
Question 37. What causes a monastic to decline in moral character and make many mistakes?
Due to the unique role of monastics as representatives of the divine, they often receive great respect from others, sometimes to an excessive degree. Only those with a tranquil mind and the utmost humility can endure the prolonged reverence of devotees without succumbing to arrogance. For everyone else, after just a few years of being overwhelmed by such veneration, arrogance inevitably begins to take root. Once arrogance arises, other virtues gradually crumble. Selfishness emerges, desires for sensual pleasures intensify, anger flares up, and jealousy surfaces. Over time, arrogant words, haughty attitudes, and harsh gazes gradually manifest, leaving those around them disappointed. If this arrogance is not eradicated, the monastic may be reprimanded by the divine, lose their blessings, and eventually abandon the monastic role to return to the secular world like everyone else. In order to overcome arrogance, monastics must pray and beseech the divine for blessings to safeguard their hearts. Indeed, no one can resist arrogance on their own. Everyone needs the assistance of the divine to maintain their humility over the long term. Additionally, monastics must constantly remind themselves to be humble, to respect others, and to feel a sense of fear when receiving excessive reverence from others. They should repeatedly remind themselves that they are as insignificant as dust, nothing more.
Question 38. How is the morality of monastics cultivated in Buddhism?
In Buddhism, monastics cultivate morality through the following principles. The ultimate goal is no self, anatta. Monastics must carefully consider every action, thought, and word to ensure it's not driven by ego or self-centeredness. Even when achieving some results in meditation, practitioners must remind themselves that ignorance and ego clinging persist deep within. This reflection helps them stay grounded and humble. In interactions with others, monastics strive to show respect. Even when receiving reverence from others, they remain humble and self-restrained, never accepting such reverence with pride or self-satisfaction. When handling matters involving benefits or advantages, monastics always prioritize the needs of others over their own and never seek personal gain. When praised, monastics should be even more vigilant and strive even harder to live up to such praise. When criticized, they must stay calm and avoid anger, instead reflecting on the criticism to see if it is valid. If it is, they should correct their faults. Otherwise, they should accept it as an opportunity to repay past karmic debts. They hold a profound and unwavering reverence for the Buddha, recognizing themselves as mere specks of dust compared to the Buddha's extraordinary enlightenment. These are the fundamental principles, but whether one can truly practice them is an entirely different story, requiring significant effort and discipline.
Question 39. Why do many people believe that Buddhism is not a religion but merely a philosophy or way of life?
Every religion has two essential aspects, faith
and a philosophical ethical framework. Buddhism is no exception. However, Buddhism's moral and philosophical system is so vast, profound, and comprehensive that many people become overwhelmed by it and overlook the faith-based aspect that remains present in Buddhism. The faith-based aspects of religion typically include the following elements: a religious founder who is revered and worshipped, supernatural deities or beings that are venerated, monastics who renounce worldly life to dedicate themselves entirely to spiritual practice and service of the religion, unique rituals, scriptures, and distinctive ceremonial attire, a community of lay followers who practice the teachings while living in society, and organized religious hierarchy. Buddhism encompasses all these elements, meeting the criteria to be recognized as a religion. Therefore, those who insist that Buddhism is not a religion, but merely a way of life or moral philosophy, are either viewing Buddhism in a narrow and one-sided way or having some deep ulterior motive. Another reason for this misunderstanding is that Buddhism does not advocate the idea of a creator God. Instead, it emphasizes enlightenment and the law of cause and effect, the law of karma. Many people assume that a belief system cannot be considered a religion if it does not worship a god. However, this view is narrow-minded. Every religion has its unique doctrines, and all deserve legal and societal respect. For a long time, differing views regarding the existence of a creator god have caused numerous conflicts between Buddhism and other religions. In today's civilized times, such issues must be addressed to foster global peace. We should regard the differences among religions as mutual complements rather than grounds for opposition. If we delve deeply, the concept of enlightenment in Buddhism can significantly complement the faith in a creator god. Similarly, faith in God can provide valuable insights into Buddhism's goal of selflessness, non-self. This complementary perspective, approached with tolerance and symbolic understanding, can pave the way for harmony among religions.
Question 40. Is it possible to summarize the teaching of Buddhism in a few simple sentences for easy understanding?
There is a verse from the Dhammapada Sutra that captures the essence of Buddhist practice. Avoid all evil deeds. Perform only good deeds. Keep your mind pure. This is the teaching of the Buddha. The teachings of Buddhism are vast and profound, making it nearly impossible to summarize them in just a few sentences. Nevertheless, the verse above offers a straightforward interpretation of the path to practice in Buddhism, which many other religions may also find common ground with. Buddhism's teachings encompass the Four Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, the 12 links of dependent origination, the 4 levels of meditation, and the 4 stages of enlightenment. Listing and explaining them all would take several years of study. However, as with many other religions, over the centuries, different masters have interpreted the Buddhist teachings through their own perspectives, giving rise to various Buddhist sects and traditions. Today, thanks to modern technology, it is much easier to access the original teachings of Buddhism, which can help foster unity among these sects, just like in the early days of Buddhism when there were no sectarian divisions.